Hey, what's up guys? So we're here to go over a starter guide for Diablo 3 going into Season 19. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, obviously make a new hero. Make sure you tick in that little box that says Seasonal. And then go ahead and hop right into Adventure Mode. Go ahead and change that to Torment 1. And we're going to go ahead and actually just do Zoltun Kulle. And then we're going to go ahead and go through each of these steps. Now, I will also put in the description box as well as in the pinned comment the steps to actually complete some of these. So the season actually starts tomorrow, so we're on non-season right now, but essentially it's going to be the same as far as what we're going to be doing. So what we want to do in the very beginning is just go into the town, go into the Templar, and go ahead and just take his weapons, go ahead and swap them out. Now obviously if you're playing a different class, you might be not using that weapon, so go ahead and grab the Scoundrel's weapon, or whatever the case may be, the Enchantress, but nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and take the Templar. Now, as soon as you go ahead, log in, once you create a character, you guys can also go ahead and do the Challenge Rift. And that's going to be a separate video. I will link that down below, but it's basically a weekly thing that you guys can go ahead and do, so you guys can go ahead and get a lot of currency in the very beginning, as well as get you started up with a bunch of blood shards. But next up, what you want to do is go ahead and look for Zoltun Kulle. And that's going to be in Act 2. Make sure he is going to be one of the bounties. So if he's not there in the very beginning, don't worry. You guys can go ahead and just keep on re-rolling until you get him. You can also do Magda, but I like Zoltun Kulle the most. And it doesn't take that long, so go ahead and just start making games over and over. And if you have a group, just everyone create a game, and whoever gets it in their game, just invite that person to that game. Okay, there we go. Bounty Zoltun Kulle. You'll get it pretty much within like 5 tries. You should probably get it. It's very, very fast anyways. So now we're going to go ahead and do that quest. And I've already gambled some blood shards, and I'll explain what the heck you guys should actually be looking for, because it depends on what class you guys are actually playing. So I'm going to go ahead, walk in, defeat Zoltun Kulle over here. And he will be fairly easy. But we'll go ahead and actually defeat, you want to actually defeat the Eternal Guardians. It might be kind of hard for some people if it's your first time doing this, but basically don't stand in the AoE. And once you level up, you'll actually gain a bunch of health. You actually want to make sure Zoltun Kulle is close enough to where he'll take damage from the explosion when you actually level up. We'll go ahead and use our new spender over here. Now, this duel takes a little bit of time. You can lower the difficulty if it's too difficult for you, but I find it to be very easy since I've been playing Diablo forever, but it's fairly easy. You just have to watch when you're leveling up. So you'll complete the bounty, you'll get a bunch of XP, but the more important thing is this chest that you can open up, and if you happen to get a weapon, it could actually be very huge for you. So after you go ahead and defeat him, oh, we got a weapon, that's huge. You can see, I know, even though it's only a small amount of damage increase, any damage is a increase here. So once you go ahead and defeat Zoltun Kulle, again, you can go ahead and do your weekly challenge rift. And the next thing that you want to actually go ahead and do after you do the challenge rift, you can just go hop right into some rifts. This is very easy to do in the very beginning because what you're going to be able to do is have a higher chance to get some legendaries. And with those blood shards, you usually won't be able to utilize most things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase off this website which shows what you guys can actually acquire at what level for your character. So specifically for Barbarian, once we go ahead and do our challenge rift, we're going to get 475 blood shards that we're going to be spending at Kadala. Now, depending on what class you are playing, you're just going to be looking for something that has a multiplier over here. So for Barbarian, if we were playing Barbarian, we would gamble for Bracers because we have damage multipliers of Seismic Slam as well as Hammer of the Ancients. These both have damage buffs. If we're playing Crusader, we can also go ahead and go for the Guard of Johanna, so that's going to increase our damage of Blessed Hammer. And I will link this down below if any of you guys need that. There's also another great website called D3 Planner, and it shows what other things that you can get from Kadala at very low levels. But again, depending on your class, go ahead and select whatever class that you're playing, and then depending on what level that you want to go ahead and utilize your blood shards at, go ahead and do that. So with Barbarian, I went for the Bracers, and this is with 1,000 blood shards, so your chances are actually pretty high. I would say it's about at least like 50% chance to get one of these Bracers, and this is going to give us a damage multiplier on one of our abilities. And then once we go ahead and do that, we're going to go ahead and do this until we get to level 8. So let's go ahead and just continue. I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward to when we are exactly level 8. Alright, so once you hit level 8, you're going to go back into town, and keep in mind, if the difficulty at any point becomes too hard in the gameplay, you can always go ahead and reset and change the difficulty and lower it. But what you're going to be looking for is specifically rings that have plus damage modifiers. In this case over here, this ring is going to give us 2 to 4 damage and also increase attack speed, but we're just looking for the damage. And you can see we're going to go ahead and increase our damage by quite a bit. And keep in mind, you can buy this for the rest of your party, and it's just excellent here for that reason. But after you go ahead and do that, you also want to start crafting some weapons here. Now, specifically, the Necromancer gets lucky and they can actually craft a rare item at level 5. But for the sake of the video, we are doing Barbarian, so we're going to go ahead and craft a two-handed weapon. So we're going to go ahead and craft a two-handed axe. But depending on the character that you're playing, like if you're playing someone that uses a bow, obviously, yeah, craft the bow, don't craft the axe, because some classes can't wield everything. But we're going to go ahead and actually craft an axe, and this is going to give us a nice little DPS increase here. So we can see over here, this is 48% bonus damage. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on, and then we're going to go ahead and hop right back into doing the Rift until we hit level 30 specifically. So once we hit level 30, we're going to go ahead and go right back into town. And by that time, you should probably have already been able to equip something that has some type of a multiplier, and you probably got way better gear. But for the sake of the video, I went ahead and actually crafted some weapons here already. But what you're going to want to do is look at that website that I already provided, which is actually showcasing off some of the items that you guys can actually craft at certain levels, because you might actually want to utilize something in the cube later down the line as well, because when you go ahead and craft with the Hope of Cain, you will be able to potentially craft an item that you can throw in the cube later. So let's go ahead and go over that. So depending on, again, the class that you're playing, this can definitely matter, but let's go ahead and say we crafted a rare two-handed mace. We go ahead and throw it into the cube, and obviously go ahead and go grab the cube, and then we're going to go ahead and use the recipe, the Hope of Cain. And depending on, again, your class and maybe what you're trying to go ahead and go for, you're going to go ahead and throw in that rare weapon, and then you're going to go ahead and turn this into a legendary item. Now, you won't be able to equip the item unless you get really lucky, specifically at level 30, and it happens to be an ancient item that also has the secondary stat to reduce the level requirement by 40, which is the most lucky RNG possible, but because it technically is there, and if you can get it, it'll significantly increase your speed at which you are leveling. But this, for example, over here is going to have that modifier where it can roll up to a reduced level requirement by 40. Now with the yellow item, you can get up to 30. So if you happen to craft the item and you don't like it, or whatever the case may be, you're not going to be utilizing it, go ahead and still craft specifically, depending on, again, your classes, this does matter, but craft if you can, a mace or an axe or anything that is non-class specific. The reason why I say non-class specific, and this is again going to be a level 70 item, so if you want a sword, go ahead and make a sword, but again, you're going to craft it at level 70. But don't craft something that is class specific. So something, for example, that would be class specific would be something like a wand that would give bonus to arcane, because you don't want it to have potentials to roll certain other things on the item. So the reason why you don't want that is because it makes it more difficult to get some RNG in what you're trying to roll. So at level 30, again, you can potentially get an ancient item that can reduce the level requirement by up to 40. However, with the yellow items, as well as just non-ancient items, the thing that you can roll it up to is only 30. So there's a lot of different modifiers that you can roll, but specifically on, let's say, Barbarian, if I was to roll off this thing, do you see how many things that there are? There's a lot more things on more class-specific items. There's not going to be this many. This is just like kind of conditional to this item, but you get the idea. There's going to be a lot less. So for example, we go ahead and craft, let's say, this mace over here. This mace actually has a chance to chill on hit. You actually want it to have one of these modifiers, the fear, stun, blind, freeze, chill, slow. You want it to have one of those on the secondary attributes. But on the first secondary attribute, we see that there's life on each kill. You actually can rotate this out. This is what you want to keep. You want to keep one of the chance to percent chance to fear some whatever. Keep that on the item. You actually want to roll off the level. You want to roll off the life on each kill here to specifically level requirement reduce. It doesn't really matter what this one is over here, ignore that, but it just needs to be one of the things that has percent chance to do something. And then you want to go ahead and hope for your RNG to go ahead and reduce the level requirement for the item. And then at level 40, you could potentially equip a level 70 item that's going to do massive amounts of extra damage. I mean, look how much damage this is going to increase our build by if we go ahead and actually get that. That's like over 100,000% damage. But I also want to mention something else. If you don't happen to have the thing that rolls off, like for example on the secondary on the item that doesn't have like the chance to freeze stun, it doesn't matter what I select. You'll see that there are so many other modifiers to the weapon, and getting that makes your rolls a lot easier. It makes your RNG just have that higher chance to go ahead and give you that extra luck over there. So yeah, you're going to do that specifically level 30 and 40. Go ahead and hope for some RNG. But for the most part, even if you get it to like level requirement reduced by 20, at level 50, you'll have a level 70 item, and then you could just breeze through the content. So just keep doing those rifts until you hit level 70. Once you hit level 70, you're going to be doing your season journey over here. And what it comes down to is a bunch of different quests. So once you hit level 70, you can see that there's going to be a thing in the top right. There's a little leaf. You just click on it, and it's going to go ahead and show you guys what the season journey is. And what you do is you complete a set of quests. And a lot of these you'll actually just finish on your own. Like, for example, you're already hit level 50. You'll already have done your normal rift. And you more likely have already socketed 5 gems. Keep in mind, if you happen to get a red gem, put that in your helmet so you'll get bonus XP. And then, of course, your blacksmith, jeweler, and mystic, level them all up to 10, which, of course, once you've done that challenge rift, you'll be able to go ahead and max all of those out anyways. And then all you really have to do is 5 bounties, do Azul and Rakanoth, and then you're going to go ahead and actually claim your season journey reward, which is just going to be in this little message here. You just go ahead and click on it, and it's going to be a bag, and you go ahead and just click like accept and claim to inventory, and it's going to go ahead and be in your inventory. You just go ahead and click on it, and it's going to go ahead and drop 2 pieces of your set. And this season it's going to be Barbarians, Wrath of the Waste, but depending on what class you're playing, you'll get different things. And with the 2-piece bonus set, you'll be able to get some bonus on Rend, and then you can start flying through the game as you progress. And make sure you do the rest of the season journey, and then once you get all of your parts for your set, you guys can more than likely do like T10 or T16 or relatively soon, and then from there you're good to go and you'll be pretty much geared up. But also want to mention, just in case you guys are playing a very specific class, you can go ahead and start specifying things with Kadala as far as what to actually go ahead and grab whatever class you're playing. And I'll link all of these again down below in the description box as well as the pinned comment. But alternatively, if you guys maybe are watching this a little down the line, if you guys want to catch me live streaming, I stream every single day. Sometimes it's not Diablo, just as a heads up though, but of course with the new season starting, we'll be playing a lot of Diablo. And if any of you guys do need help with any questions, or if you guys want to boost to 70 in 5 minutes, well, if you're coming a day or 2 after, I can boost you guys instantly, and it'll only take me like 10 minutes to get you guys to 70. But there is a little guide for you guys in case you guys do want to go ahead and actually get that whole season progression there. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and if you guys are unsure on what you guys want to actually build this season, I'm going to go ahead and also pin it down below a bunch of different builds for this season. We're talking Crusader, Monk, and Barbarian. All of them have gotten some new content, so if you guys are still unsure on what to play, go ahead and check out the gameplay. Maybe with that video, you guys can go ahead and decide what you want to go ahead and play. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and if you're watching this when the season starts, I'll probably live stream, and if you guys want to join in and get some Diablo gameplay, and feel free to come in and we'll play together. But thanks for tuning in, guys, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel here and want to see more Diablo and other gaming content, you subscribe, turn on that bell, and you'll definitely see more very soon. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in Season 19. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one, and I'm signing out. Peace.